All right. This is my side of the room, and I like that you're all working for me. Woohoo! Yes, thank you, folks.
And this is my side of the room for everything we're doing.
Yay for Derek!
Thank you, Liz.
Now, we want you guys to pay attention to what's going on today. We told you this is my side of the room, and this is Derek's side of the room. Good. All right, so today we're going to be telling you some stuff, but we're also going to be showing you some stuff because it's about engagement. So we need you to pay attention to everything that you see and everything that you hear, okay? Everybody ready? Yes. Excellent. We're going to be asking you questions. So that means you need to be ready to answer the questions, all right? Everybody ready to answer questions? Good job. Excellent. All right.
Great. Well, the first secret is it's important to hire for values instead of skills. The traditional way that people hire is they go out and run advertisements that they're looking for people with this skill, that skill, that skill. We can teach people the job skills. We can teach them how to do the job. What you want to hire for is values and belief. Do what they fundamentally believe in aligns with your own company. So you want to recruit aiming to get those values. Then you want to screen in your interview process for those values. Because we can then hire based on those values and teach them everything else. We can't teach them values. Hopefully their parents did that. If not, well, then we're probably doomed. So, and like Jim Collins said, it's important you get the right people on the bus. Now this can be a little bit tricky, so that's what Liz is going to talk about next.
And one other thing, everybody has values. Everybody. Everybody has different values, though. So if you make a good match between your values and the people you hire, what are the chances that you're going to have a better result? Better? Of course. All right, so Derek's going to show you a little video here while I'm talking. This is one of the things that we do to help us match up our values to our employees' values. Now, a lot of people know to hire for values, but how? How do you do that? So we have a little deck of cards here. It's called a core values deck. And you'll notice there's a word on each card, and we take two cards and we just put them next to each other. And we give them to the employee, the potential employee, and we ask them, pick which one is more important to you. The one on the left or the one on the right? They pick, we get rid of the other one. So now the trick is, we've seeded this deck, haven't we? We've put our core values interspersed with other core values that we don't care about. They pick. When they're all done, we look at which ones they've picked, and guess what? If they match our core values, match made in heaven. Now, what if they only get 3 or 4 out of 6? Still a pretty good match for my company. Wouldn't you be happy with employees that have 4 out of your 6, maybe, best values, the things that you care about? Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah? So what if they only pick 1 of your cards? Only one of the things that you care about, they pick. You going to pick them? No. You know why? Because when you're talking to them about the specs on a job, and you're saying it's important that we follow the specs every single time, and they picked that it's more important to be timely versus having integrity, they're not going to understand. They're going to go, uh-huh. Yeah, I know, boss. Uh-huh. Heard it a million times. But are they listening? Do they care? No. Exactly. No, they don't. So that's what you're seeing on the screen. It's just a matter of picking core values, deciding if they match or not, and choosing what matches yours.
Great. Now, the next secret is leadership. Now, leadership can mean a whole lot of different things to different people. So we believe in the people-centered model of leadership. And when you look at it, the acronym stands for PC Tactics, people-centered tactics. You have to trust your employees. You have to have the ability to delegate to them, communicate with them, provide transparency in everything they do so they know what's going on in the world and don't feel like they're mushrooms kept in the dark. You want to make sure you inspire them, provide coaching, and that there's a strategy that ties it all together. Now, I know this sounds all very generic, but this is a model used by most of your major leadership experts out there that you hear. And the difference is most people think leadership is all about strategy. And I'm a strategy guy. I can talk strategy for hours. It's not about some grand vision of the future and trying to get them to buy on board. Leadership is about coaching and developing and trusting your people. It's all about the people. That's why it's people-centered leadership or people-centered tactics.
Everybody on this side of the room, all of you people that are sitting right now, we'd like you to stand up.
On Liz's side.
On my side, yep, we got a little exercise for you. I want you to turn to the person next to you, or if you don't have somebody next to you, turn to the person behind you, and clasp your hands together like this. You might have seen something similar to this, right? Everybody grab somebody. All right, now what I'd like you to do is we have a task for you. We would like you to get the other person's thumb down and then sit down when you've done the above thing. When you've done what we said you to do, sit down. Those of you that can't sit, just go like this. Good job, Steph. All right.
I'm seeing some battles out there.
Good, I'm seeing some people sitting. Good, good. Everybody back there, we're all sitting. Yeah. Everybody's sitting today. That's excellent. I'm so excited to see that. Is anybody not sitting at this point considered sitting? Steph, you're not? You are, okay. So everybody's sitting. So I have a question for you. Who here would like to tell me how you got each other's fingers down, or thumbs down? You would, Katie? How did you get your partner's thumb down?
I asked him if he could please put his thumb down.
What a great idea. How many people did that? Ask the other person to put their thumb down. No? Oh, well, if you took somebody else's thumb, why did they sit down? Because their job was to get the other person's thumb down. If you got your thumb pinned, why did you sit? If you're going to be the leader of your company, you need to find ways to get the action done without forcing other people to do your will. PC. Got it? You guys get it? Good.
Okay, secret 3, the why matters. It's important that you do why first, then how, then what. And what we mean by this is people want to understand. Everyone wants to understand things. It's a fundamental question. That's why your 2-year-old children come to you and go, why, 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 why? That doesn't go away. We just, for some reason, stop asking. And it's a fundamental desire to understand. Why is a question, and it's important that you think of it that way and you don't get offended. Why are they always questioning me? Well, because why is a question. They want to know how they fit in, why it makes sense. Why makes people listen? It makes the people in your company actually listen to what you're saying. It's not a lecture anymore. It's explaining the bigger picture. It invokes passion. People get very passionate when they understand why they're doing something. They don't get passionate because they're told to do it. They get passionate because they understand why they're doing that. And it connects people together. When I understand why as a team we're working on something, we become a team. It's no longer just because I was told to do it. And then it gives meaning, obviously, to what we're doing. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, there's some great TED Talks out there by Simon Sinek. I recommend you go watch it, where he talks about why you should start with why.
Has anybody here seen the TED Talks with Simon Sinek? Awesome. Anybody like them? Same people, right? Great TED Talks. Watch them if you haven't seen them yet. Excellent. All right, so we needed something about why. We needed a video. So one day, I had my son bring his little camera to work, and as my employees came back into the field, I grabbed 3 people, and I said, I'm making a video. I'm going to ask you a question. And they were like, look at me. I look terrible. I'm like, shh, it's your job. Come in here. I'm going to take your video. And this is what we got. This was the question. Why do you work here?
Why do I work at American Made and stay here? Is Liz and Mindy. They are always there for me. They push,
technical problems.
So why do I work at American Made and stay here? Is Liz and Mindy. They are always there for me. They push me to do better. They point out all my good qualities. They help me with my bad qualities. They don't judge. They got my back. They're like family, like a mother. I know that they are there for me. So, and always looking out for the better. So that's why I stay here.
I work here because The company is family oriented. I also like to work for the clients and help people out every day. And I enjoy it. So anytime that I have any problems or anything comes up, the company is right on helping me get through it and fix things.
Hi, I work here because it is a family away from home for me. I have lots of opportunity to grow. I get satisfaction out of going into people's homes and making them feel like the most important one, improving their lives, making their day better. It's just an overall great feeling. I love my boss, and I plan on working here until I can't work here anymore.
See the part where she says she loves her boss? All right. The reason that we put this up here is you'll notice they all spoke to something that matters to them. You could see that they all had feeling about what they cared about. They had passion for feeling, right? So that's what you are trying to get from them, is their feeling, their passion, but that comes from a why that matters to them, not a why that matters to you or me.
Great. All right, the next secret is it's not all about the pay. Now, don't get me wrong, pay matters. You have to be fair with people. They have to be able to make a living. You need to pay them fair wages where they don't feel like someone else is getting paid more than them. But once you get past the basic boundary of fair, pay stops being quite as motivating. In fact, a lot of research says if you want higher order benefits out of people, actually offering them monetary incentives actually backfire. Recognition, connection, giving them meaningful work, and making them feel valued is more valuable. And some of the best incentives are things that they want but couldn't justify doing on their own. So that you want to try to find things that are individual, maybe something that they would want to go do, but logically they just can't quite justify doing themselves. So it's not all about pay. Pay is just a small part of the equation. You got a bonus.
$500.
Great.
I'm so excited. Oh,
We can
I don't
really
know
use
what I'm gonna do
$500.
with this. I'm so excited. I can't decide what I'm going to do. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to call my friends. We're going to go on a park. I just don't even know what we're going to do with it. I'm just so.
Well, we really need to pay the water bill. We got that disconnect notice 2 days ago. We've got till tomorrow.
Not with my bonus.
But if we don't pay the water bill,
Not
the
with my
water
bonus.
stops.
Not with my bonus.
Well, you see, I like to drink
Okay, really,
and
Derek?
shower
You and I?
and bathe. Well, I'm really happy. How about you keep like $50 and we'll use $450 to pay the water bill?
$50?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Well-
Do you know how hard I work for that money?
Do you know how much we need water?
Fine.
Thank you.
Fine.
It's really great. It's glad not to have that bill anymore.
Fine, Derek.
All right, so I think we need to try that one again.
Honey, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Look what I got, look what I got.
What'd you
I'm
get?
so excited, I'm so excited. Like, I got a spa ticket. I'm going to the spa. You're not going. It's me
Don't
and my
really
friends.
want to go.
Going to
So-
the spa. We're going to relax. I've already got it all planned out. 3 days. Me and my girls.
Well, have fun with that. I'll stay home and watch some sports, so maybe football.
Yeah. That's what it's like. That's what it's really like. You get $500, he takes it. She takes it. The kids take it. It's gone. It wasn't your $500, right? It's gone. But if you get a spa ticket for $500, I'm going to the spa. You're going to the spa. We're not that much different than our employees. They want to go to the spa. They don't want to pay their water bill, right? Send them to the spa. Don't pay their water bill. Their water bill will get paid, I promise. Send them to the spa.
And it's great because they'll brag, they'll share stories. People don't typically brag about all the money they have. It's not considered socially acceptable. She's going to tell all of her friends about the spa. The trick is you have to know what they want, but they logically wouldn't go purchase for themselves. So it requires you talk to them and get to know them. And it can be different by employee. In case you couldn't tell, I actually couldn't give a flying about sports. I'm a geek, so what incentivized me with my best boss ever is he put a issue 100 of Captain America available to me if I hit certain objectives, something I would have never bought on my own, but I sold my butt off to get Captain America number 100 because he knew that's something that I wanted because he listened. All right, secret number five, develop and educate. And this is what I call a work and development plan, and I wish I could claim to be a genius on this. I actually kind of borrowed this from Procter & Gamble, where I worked for 13 years, because P&G was always listed in the Fortune 500 and still is as the best place for hiring, training, and motivating employees. So when I left, I took my little form, which I had at P&G. I had this new company and had to do my performance review and sat down and used it. And it had 3 equal parts to it. What's their work plan for the next year? That's what most of us do. What do I expect you to do for the next year at work? Part 2 is what some of us do, which is the development plan. And this is where I said, where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? And my bravest employee came to me and said, I don't want to work for you. Which, at first, she thought I'd get really mad at her. And I said, I'm not dumb. Not everyone wants to clean for their whole life. Where do you want to go? What job do you want? What skills do you need? What life experiences do you need? And how can this job help you get there? She went back and told everyone else in the company that story. And when she did eventually move on, she referred her friends to come work for us because this job was helping them get somewhere. And then the last part of the work and development program is, what are you going to do to give back to the company? So what are you going to do to generate more business? What are you going to do to develop yourself? But how are you going to help the company itself become better?
All right, I need my side of the room to help me out a little bit here. So you see, it takes all 3 categories: work plan, personal development, and company development. And it's an even measure, right? You have to have all 3 matching. So give me some ideas. You need a work plan. What are some things that you might put on a work plan? Nobody? What kind of things? Yes? Improve your quality score. Maybe that's something that you're going to put on your work plan. What else might we put on a work plan? Somebody's going to work. Say it again.
Attendance.
Attendance. They're going to improve their attendance. Maybe they've been late a lot, right? So they're going to improve their attendance. So those are a couple of things that we might put. How about personal development plan? What might they put on there? On their personal development. I'll tell you, one of my girls, you know what she wanted? She wanted to get a tan. You might think, a tan? Are you serious? I'm not going to support somebody wanting to get a tan. I'm telling you, if that's what they want, you better support them. Her next one wasn't to get a tan. It was to buy a car, which I was much happier to support, but still, it had to start with getting a tan, right? Who else had one? Education. Maybe they want to go back to school. Support them in that. Help them figure out a way to do that. And company development plan. Now, the thing about a company development plan is this binds you as a team. This is something that creates team spirit. So we need this piece. You don't want to drop it. A lot of people say, yeah, I'm going to help the company out by doing all this other stuff. But what? Don't drop it. What are some company development plans that you could have? Who's got one? Maybe, right? Maybe a mentor. Maybe being a mentor for the company to new people. Anything else? Anything else out there? Say it again. Maybe being a trainer. They're going to train the people so that the whole company is better and we have a better trained workforce. So you have to look for what's important in your company to get these 3 things. But remember, you got to do them all together, okay?
All right, secret number 6 is the somewhat counterintuitive one, and that's to actually make them work harder. People actually do better when you work them harder. How many times have you had the experience in your company that someone complains about their job or isn't very engaged, and you're thinking, you have the easiest job in my whole company. All you have to do is sit there all day long. Well, but people don't want to sit there all day long. They want to feel like they have a sense of purpose. How many times have maybe you hired someone too early and didn't have enough work for them and you kind of ruin them? This is how you ruin them. You bring them on board without enough work to do. They want responsibility. They want to expect more, not less. They want you to hold them to high standards. If you don't hold them to high standards, you start hearing them complaining about the company, and in your brain you're thinking, you're the one who's not doing it, but they want someone to hold them to standards and pull it together.
Not only want it, but they need it. They need to be held to higher standards.
And it proves you have confidence in their abilities. We talked earlier under the PC tactics that you had to have trust and delegate. Well, if you have someone who has a meaningless, very easy, very simple job. Do you actually trust them very much? Are you proving you have any trust? Are you delegating them anything of importance? If they went away tomorrow, would anyone in the company even notice? Does anyone want to work in a job where if you go away tomorrow, nobody's even going to notice that you're gone? So you want to make sure you increase their feelings of self-worth by actually working them a little bit harder, not a little bit less. Now that being said, there are limits. We're not saying work them like dogs, but you do need to purposely make sure that everyone has a challenging and fulfilling job.
All right, this side of the room, remember those business cards that you pulled out? I want you to hand it to the person on your left or your right, the person that you played with earlier. Give them your card, please. Tell that person what one thing you're going to do differently because you came to the ISSA show. What one thing are you going to do? And then make a commitment to call that person in 1 week. Within a week, call. You check on them, they'll check on you. What's that one thing? Tell. What are you going to do? One thing. I want to know what that was.
It must have been good.
Yeah, it was good. I like Samantha over there. She keeps going, yeah, yeah, all right, all right. I think that might be good too. All right. Now remember, within a week, call and check in. Because what's going to happen in a week? Are you going to want to do the thing that we just said, told you to do? You don't want to have this guy calling you or this gal calling you saying, hey, you said you were going to do blah, did you? Well, no, I got kind of busy. I forgot. Do it. It's not that hard. It's one thing. But it's a little bit more than they have to do. It's a little bit more.
Okay. Secret number 7 is team building and connection. Whenever possible, you want to try to actually build a team within your people. Now, this needs to be built on trust. This means things like gossip need to be kept under control as sort of a prerequisite. It means they need to know that you actually trust them. They have to have opportunities to connect. Maybe this means you actually set up an area they can hang out and talk a little bit in the morning instead of coming in and telling them to shut up and get out the door and go to work. It's actually a good thing for them to have a little bit of time to talk in the beginning of the day. And if you're honest, how often do you go to the water cooler and talk with one of your peers? People want to have a little bit of time to connect as long as it's within a reasonable time frame. It doesn't need to be these big formal team build. I normally do this based on trust. So we should do trust falls? That's not what we mean. It doesn't need to be these big formal activities. And yes, I've been dropped on a trust fall. I was heavier then. But anyway, you want to make sure that you have the informal as well as the formal. You want to make sure you have common interests and goals. Now, the good news is they have a job, and the job should help provide a certain amount of common interests and goals together. Hopefully, if the company has goals, you can help pull them together around it. You have to have an open communication. If you don't really want to hear from them, if you shut them down when they try to give you feedback, you're not going to build a team. A team needs to be able to have conversations, especially difficult conversations. Those are the ones where it most pulls together a team. You want to make sure you respect the individual talents of the people and the differences between them. Once again, everyone wants to feel respected, and that shared agenda, which once again is a little bit easy within the boundary of having work.
Much easier within the boundaries of having work, right? You automatically have a shared agenda. You already have an agenda of wanting to do good work for your clients. You want to keep the clients. What is that shared agenda? Share it. Make sure that they understand what it is. Bigger picture. Employee engagement programs never end. Never. Never. So some of you are sitting out there thinking, can you just give me the list? I just need, oh good, I got the 7 things and then I'll be done. It doesn't work that way, folks. It just doesn't. It never ends. You're constantly changing and making new and getting inspiration from other people, and you have new people that need new stuff. So it's never, never ending. It's just going to continue to evolve based on your company, how it's changing.
Giving information in and of itself isn't enough. You must be engaging. So can I ask a question? I'm normally actually not this boring. How's my half of the room feeling? A little bit left out? Not feeling so...
How's my side of the room feeling?
There was a little bit difference in how we interacted with you, wasn't there? I was lecturing at you. I was giving you information.
Good information.
Nothing different than the information
But
you
good
give me.
information. You guys see that?
I
You
got
see
good
that?
statistics. I can tell you all the studies behind all this stuff and why it matters. And you really care a lot, I can tell. I saw a lot of cell phones on my half of the room. And the funny thing is, you guys were listening to the same presentation, but there were cell phones on this side of the room.
But our other point is that there is no single thing that you can do that's going to keep your employees engaged. It's not a matter of just talking. It's not a matter of just running around. It's not a matter of yelling and being funny. It's not a matter of being comical. Can you do those things? Oh, yeah. Do you have to do those things? Absolutely not. Do you need to do some of those things some of the time? Yes. Oh, why didn't you guys answer? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you're not engaged. Okay. Yeah.
All right, there's no right or wrong way, but ignoring the issues will make it go away. You're going to mess up on this. You're going to put together a program and a Halloween party, and you get all dressed up in your Halloween costume, and you go, and no one's there. Not that that's ever happened to me.
Not many times.
But that
anyway.
doesn't mean that you give up. It might be your Christmas party turns out to be quite the blast another month later. So you don't give up. You always want to try, but if you ignore it, you're never going to fix it.
Mm-hmm. So we also want you to understand that your employees staying with your company, that really isn't, that's not the be-all, end-all. Just people that say, oh yeah, my employees have been with my company 10 years. Some of you know that people will tell you all of Liz's team leads and team coaches have been with her company over 10 years. She's got people that have been there 15, 18, 19 years. Great. So what? You know what? Those numbers mean nothing. If those people aren't engaged, who cares how long they're there? Wouldn't it be better to get rid of those people that are just sucking up space in your company, earning more of your hard-earned dollars? Get rid of them. Get people that are engaged. You want people that are actually doing the work because they like to do the work. They come to work in a good mood. Hey, Liz, what's going on today? Who am I cleaning? What's the deal? I don't even know the answers to any of those questions, but I'm really happy that you're answering. I'm really excited. I'm going to find out. Because we want people that want to be here, that want to be at your place. Not people that are showing up day in and day out, sucking the life right out of your company. Oh, you're all laughing. What, you've seen these people? A time or two? Yeah.
I think they're all in my half of the room.
Yeah. Okay. So who had the better experience today, do you think? Do you think that this side of the room had the better experience? Or do you think that this side of the room had the better experience? Yeah. Do you notice how you guys didn't even answer the question? Right? Okay.
You're in the exact same presentation.
Same presentation. Who's going to
You just
remember
didn't
this
pass any
presentation?
business cards or move or,
Yeah.
Come on, it's goofy little exercises. It doesn't matter.
Now, who's going to remember this presentation longer? This side of the room or this? You. Awesome. I love it. But this side of the room overall is probably going to remember this presentation longer than this side of the room. That's what you're looking for. When you're training people, you want them to remember something. Do you tell them? Like Derek told y'all, he had lots of good stuff, didn't he? Bullet points, nice fancy dancy thing. He's got a nice smile on, he's wearing his cute little clothes, right? He looked good. But still, didn't quite work, did it? Couple of other, cheesy. You see that? Cheesy. Here you guys, put your hands together. Huh, okay, everybody got it. Yay! Liz running down the thing. Ah! Do you have to be cheesy? No. But can you do something that's even cheesy? Even if it's that bad, it's still better than nothing. So you don't have to be great. You just have to do something, right? Alrighty. Who's going to be most inclined to do the next thing that we ask them to do? This side of the room or this side of the room? Probably this side of the room. You guys are even pointing. Don't. Well, we don't
And you're probably mocking them.
it.
That's the goofy people over there
Right.
that do those stupid exercises.
Now, are these people all a different kind of people than these kind of people over here? They're not. These are the same people as these people. So when you have those employees that are just sucky, that won't do anything, no matter how many times we ask them and point to them and tell them, whose fault is it? Right? Or in this case, not mine, my fine's got, yeah, golden over here, right? All right, so here is the last thing that we want you to think about before you leave. This side of the room, stand up, please. All of y'all, look over at this side of the room. Blow them all a big kiss. Now, y'all, I'm begging you, just one thing before we leave. Blow them a kiss back. Great job.
There we go.
Thank you.
So.
We have
All right.
question and answer time.
Yep, we have some time for Q&A, I think, right, if I believe?
Yep,
So-
we have a few minutes for question and answers.
They're getting the mics ready, so anyone have any questions, go ahead and raise your hands. No? We have a couple back here. Oh, there's one over here too.
Nice job, guys. Can you talk a little bit about some of the engagement research around getting money out of the way, so that you can then have folks focus on sort of these other? I forget the slide, but you talked about how money's
it's
not
not
the
the
key
pay.
thing, right? But part of my worry becomes if you're dealing with frontline employees who are in some cases not making a whole lot of anything, that perhaps becomes a challenge of given what you are paying
Yes.
them, how much then can money really become a non-factor so that you can move to this other much better world of tapping into engagement? Could you talk about that?
Definitely. So you bring up a really good point, and I'm glad that you did because it sounds like we didn't hit on this well enough. Have you all heard of Maslow's hierarchy? Anybody? Good. So most of you have. So, and I'm guessing that you did based on your question. So the hierarchy of needs says that first, the very first level, the place that people need to have their needs met first is in their basic needs, right? And pay is going to fit in there.
Physical needs.
Right, and their physical needs, thank you. So they have to have a certain reasonable amount of pay. If you're not paying them a reasonable wage to get them started, pay is going to be the motivator because they are really trying to just get by. They need to be able to get by, do more than just get by before any of these other things are going to work. If you're paying minimum wage, you're probably going to still struggle. Yes.
Hello? Who said we're not engaged? So the follow-on to that would be, does the science tell us anything about what those levels might be? Is there some, you referred to minimum wage, but is there some sense for below this amount, you're probably just dealing with a person who's focused on self-preservation types of things and not the higher order drivers, or is that too fuzzy to?
The science hasn't been broken down into specific industries. So our industry has not been, to my knowledge. Do you have any different knowledge?
No, I
Derek?
mean, in general, it's all based around fairness and comparing against others. As long as they are in that range of 40 to 80% of industry average, it's normally okay. Now, our industry is a little bit different because unfortunately our average can sometimes be low. So then we've got to talk about a basic living wage. But then above that, pay is no longer quite as important. You don't need to pay the best in your industry. I pay good, I don't pay the best.
But they need to have that feeling of it being fair.
Yes.
Bottom line. So if you're getting you're hearing from people across the board that it's not fair, my friend makes, da-da-da, so-and-so makes, then you have a situation, right? You have to get that fixed.
Okay. So is it possible if I ask you a single strategic question to get a complimentary deck of cards? So what booth can we come and get those cards at?
The booth. Cleaning business today. Tom, what's our booth number? 2292. Yeah.
And you don't have to buy the deck of cards. You can do your own.
Yeah, you can
I mean,
make
you can
your
do
own
that
cards,
with index
right?
cards and felt tip markers. Not that I don't want to sell you decks of cards. It's the idea behind it.
Yeah. Don't think that you can't do it if you don't have the cards, right? Make sure that you're still doing something with your values.
Hi. How do you go about making the wage for everybody feel fair when you have people that are in higher positions that you're rewarding more?
A little bit closer.
How do you make it, make the wage, people feel fair about their wage when you have people that are supervisors or above and they're getting more and they come back, well, I do the same thing they do, but they're getting paid more.
So we're going to give you two different answers. We run two different companies, different ways of running things, and there isn't only one right way. We believe there's not just one right way to do it. My belief is that you need to have separate job description and make sure that everybody understands that this wage is higher because of this level of work that they're doing. You're not doing the same thing. And if you are, you should be compensated better. Or you need to do your job. One of the two. The pay is actually really related to exactly what the job is. If they're doing more and they want to do more, give them a new job description, a new job title.
And ours isn't that different, same idea. Ours is very structured. She has what she calls a kindergarten culture. I have what I call a very corporate culture coming from P&G. But my people love my place. We treat them with respect. I'm very proud to own a cleaning company. I always wear my logo shirt. I'm not embarrassed that we clean things. But everything's very structured as well. It's very clear. We have every other month one-on-one meetings. If that comes up, I need to make more money, great. Here are the actions you need to take. That is part of our work plan. And as we develop these skills, we can pay you more. Well, she gets paid more than me. Here's the check boxes she has checked that you don't. What can we do to check those boxes off together? And then I will happily pay you more.
Bottom line is, don't ignore the question. Don't ignore it.
How do you empower employees and make them feel part of the company when they're geographically separated from the office or the headquarters?
You deal with that more.
Yeah,
than
that's
I do.
actually easier for me than most people because I actually never, ever have had an all-company meeting. I had so many meetings at Procter & Gamble that I swore I would never have another meeting again in my life. So we do a variety of things. We do things like your normal newsletters, things like that, but what's been really good for us is we have a private company Facebook page, and we're very interactive on that Facebook page, giving recognition. People are just sharing stories about their families. We do some games and activities on there. We also have a lot of events, opportunities for people to meet outside of work. It's not mandatory. I can't force people to have fun, but we try to give them those opportunities. My people have the option on both sides of my business to come by the office. I have people that have no reason to come by the office, but they're there every day because they're social beings who want to see other people. Another one of my cleaners I call my ninja maid because we just never see her. And that's okay because that's her style and it matches her style. So you want to give some opportunities, and the great thing is technology, things like private Facebook groups really can help build a sense of community, do activities, have them compete with each other, post pictures of their kids, things like that.
And I'm a big proponent of the Rockefeller Habits, if anybody's heard of them, and that book. Basically what it is you set goals together as a group. Everybody has certain things that they are responsible for, and there are set times and meetings that you check in, very short meetings that are extremely structured, maybe 10-minute meetings, and you do them from wherever you are, anywhere in the country, city, state, whatever. Everybody calls in at the same time. You get on the same call, whether it be a Skype call or a conference call, and everybody gives their check-in. You'd have to get the details of the program from the Rockefeller Habits themselves, but it's a very structured program of checking in so that everybody is paying attention to what everybody else is doing.
And I know the Facebook thing sounds a little fluffy and doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, but Liz and I are in a Facebook group with some business owners that we work with, and we see a couple times a year. Those of you that are in our Facebook group, yell for us real quick. And is it an exciting group? Do you feel like you know us, you're engaged with us? Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it can really, really work. So.
And you'll notice also in that answer, Derek's answer was Facebook, let's do the fun thing, right? Mine is structure all the way. We're having meetings, everybody has to know exactly what they're doing on par, on target. I want your answers within 30 seconds. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, I want an answer to why within 30 seconds and how you're going to remedy that situation. Interesting, right? You'd think I'm the Facebook funzie, and he's going to be the one with the strict structure. But it doesn't have to be that way. You have to do a little bit of all of it, right? There's a little bit more proof for you. We got another question right in front.
Uh-oh.
Hello? Okay. Follow-on question for you guys would be about whether this is a strategic opportunity for companies that are in our service industry. Meaning, do you have the perception that most companies are doing this well, not well, and what do those who do it well stand to gain?
So the research says that we're not doing it well. That even when we think we're doing it well, our employees say that we're not. There are multiple studies saying this information. The people that are doing it well are making more money. Bottom line, you make more money when your people are trying to make you more money. If that's what they want to do, if that's what you want them to do, that's what your goal is, and they want to do that, guess what? They're happy to make you more money. I know that sounds weird, like they don't want to give up money. Nobody wants to give up money. Yes, they do. When that's their goal, that's your vision, that's what they want to do. They also are happier at work. They literally come in smiling and saying, "Hi, what's up today? What are we doing? Who's cleaning toilets? Woohoo, me!"
They really do.
They do. They really do. Does that answer your question?
And especially as we're seeing shifts towards daytime cleaning, more interaction with clients, it's really important that people be engaged and not zombies when they go in. No one wants a zombie working for them. There's all sorts of opportunities for things to go wrong, no matter what time of day it's done. And an engaged employee is going to be better at problem solving. They're not just going to go, "Not my job, that's outside the realm of my responsibilities," and walk away. No? All right, well, I'm not seeing any more questions then, so.
I did want to make one more point. A lot of times our people will work alone. And so I get the question sometimes, I don't understand how you're supposed to engage people if they work by themselves. Maybe they go into a building by themselves. Maybe they work like a half shift and then somebody else joins them later. How are you supposed to engage those people? Remember what we told you, that engagement is not about you engaging them all the time one-on-one, right? It takes a lot more than just that. And one of the big pieces is giving them something to care about themselves, their plan, their personal development, their work plan, what matters to them, how are they pulled into the company. They don't need you to be able to feel engaged when you're not there, because they're doing it. They feel better. If your workforce feels like they are amazing, that's how they're going to act. When was the last time you saw somebody that felt amazing, that did a cruddy job? Try to just act that out. I feel amazing. I mean, I feel amazing. It's impossible. They can't. If they feel great, they work great. That benefits all of us.
And like Liz
regardless.
said, I have a very corporate culture, but part of our culture is we are the best cleaning company in America. We are proud of it. You guys can all have number 2 and 3, but I have the best cleaning company in America. And I push that with my people, and they believe it, and they know it, and they try to act that way. There's a lot of pride in what we do, and that is a huge advantage.
Who here has the number 1 cleaning company? Their company's the best. That's right. Your employees need to believe that too. I like your hand is still raised, April. That's right. You guys all put your hands down because mine is still up. That's right. That's what we want you all to have. Thank you so much.